it wasn't a shock still. I mean, I even half joked with my dad after the game yesterday that, oh, because they've lost in quite an unfortunate way, and you'll all go ahead and sack him now, and they have done that. And of course, they haven't just decided on the back of that performance or that result yesterday. I expect that they set the wheels in motion some time ago. It is inexplicable why they've given him 3 games into a 7-game block after the October internationals, when they should have just done it during the October international fortnight. They had those 2 meetings, one on the Monday, one on the Tuesday, one in Manchester, one in London, and they've just been beaten about the bush. And as I've said before, although a manager is always going to be the central to a sacking story because it's the manager who's been sacked, I think the bigger picture, the bigger story in a way, it's been Ineos's handling of this really shambolic 5 or 6 month period dating back to May. I mean, I wrote after that Coventry farce in April that Ten Hag should go, and maybe it was a little bit over emotional or a little bit too raw. And of course, United were vindicated in keeping him for the FA Cup final because they won it, and they won it in a tremendous way. It was a remarkable and unexpected performance. But he had to go after then, and they were looking at replacements to replace him with. To then keep him when they didn't want to keep him, to then extend his contract when they didn't really want to extend his contract, and then the most befuddling act in all this, to then embark on a spending spree, a Dutch-centric transfer window, where they invested more than £200 million on players. One of them who's still not actually played under Ten Hag in a competitive game, in Lenny Oro, was completely illogical. It completely flies in the face of how elite football clubs run. And United are paying the price really for not again. It's poor preparation. We go back to last summer and not getting a proper striker in, and they're still feeling the ramifications of that. That of course had a bearing on Ten Hag's second season and this season, but it really has been death by a thousand cuts when they should have cut him loose in May. I felt I felt probably early October last year that he was in trouble just because they'd lost 6 games out of, must have been 11 games at that point. I think they might have won 5 and lost 6, 4 in the Premier League, 2 in the Champions League. And ironically, since the day McTominay saved his skin against Brentford, I've just thought he's looked out of his depth. He's not sounded like the United manager that he was in the first season. United have seldom played as authoritatively as they did a number of times in that first season. You could, apart from the FA Cup final, it's really difficult to settle on one match from start to finish where they've won and there haven't been any caveats really. And really, this should have been ended a long, long time ago. So Jim Ratcliffe never spoke convincingly of him. The notion that Ratcliffe had no say in the decision-making process, I don't think anybody believes that. And whatever excuses they come up with, I don't think anybody, in terms of delaying the decision, ultimately it's come 5 months too late, and that is a hell of a delay.